everybody once more, and welcome to the African EV podcast, where we talk about sustainable energy and transport solutions for Africa. My name, as usual, is Gad Senye John Ashago. I am your host today, and our guest for this session is a very good friend of mine. His name is Alphaeus Addae Mensah. Alphaeus, welcome to the AfricaNEV podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right. So before we delve into, anyway, we're going to talk about hybrid EV ownership in Ghana, West Africa. But before you do that,
Okay.
can you introduce yourself to us? Who are you? I mean, what's your background?
I currently work with Goil. Goil is an energy company. We sell petroleum products, fuels, lubricants, and I'm with the fintech division. I don't know if you understand that. Yes, I have a part IT and accounting background.
Okay. So
Yeah, so
you're
that's basically what I do.
okay. So you have a finance background as well as a technology background. That's why fintech
Exactly. Yeah.
for an oil company. All right. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So how did you get interested in this whole EV and ended up owning a hybrid? What's the story behind that? Because you work for an oil company, Goil Ghana. You sell petroleum, you find petroleum products.
Yeah.
In fact, I think,
It's such an irony.
yeah, is it Total is number one currently, and Goil is number one, and Total is number two.
No, please.
Or which one is it? What's the order?
Yes.
Goil is number one, Total is number
We've
two.
always been number one.
Good. So you are
Exactly.
working for the premier oil marketing company in Ghana. Tell
Thank you very
us,
much.
tell us, what is your story?
Um, so I think 6 years ago, EV came into the picture, and I mean I've been following EV for quite some time now. I got really excited about the whole process behind how electric vehicles work. And at that time, owning an electric vehicle was quite expensive, so I had to go with something that was close to an electric vehicle. That's a hybrid. I think it's one of the best decisions I've ever made.
So that means that the from the get go, the hybrid was a compromise.
Yes, somehow.
Okay. Or were there other considerations behind the decision? For example, were you considering that maybe if you, or affordability is the main thing? Because
You know,
affordability,
in 2015, I think our mechanics in Ghana didn't know so much about electric vehicles. So I figured bringing an electric vehicle into Ghana was going to cost me so much if an issue comes up. I mean, there are a lot of exotic cars here in Ghana, and there are mechanics who are readily available to handle them. So I figured, well, if mechanics are not ready to work with electric vehicles, I mean, an engine that has both the traditional engine and an electric engine shouldn't be too much of a big deal for mechanics to handle. That's why I decided to go for that one.
so its cost was number one, but number two was
Yep.
the repairability and maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay. So now you have made a decision to get a hybrid.
Mhm.
What what sparked your interest in EVs? Maybe let's back. What sparked your interest in EVs?
So in 2015, my brother in the US was talking so much about the Tesla. so excited about it. I asked myself, I mean, what's so special about having an electric vehicle? So that is when we decided to look into how it operates. And I mean, to be able to save a lot of money on fuel and not on electricity, who would want that? I mean, it was exciting, but I mean, we didn't have that kind of infrastructure here to handle electric vehicles, so I had to go in for a hybrid.
And this is you're talking about 2015. All right.
Yeah,
Uh,
2015.
Good. So now you're taking a decision to get a hybrid car instead of a full
Yeah.
electric for these 2 reasons.
Trust me, a
What?
lot of thought went into that because I mean, in 2015, aside Toyota, Hyundai was also into manufacturing of EV vehicles. I think
The Kona.
dating back to 2012, yes, the Corolla.
So the
Toyota
Kona, the
didn't
Hyundai
have
Kona, the
good
Hyundai Kona.
reviews. Yes, yeah, Kona. They didn't have a Toyota didn't have good reviews when it comes to hybrids. People were complaining so much about it. So that's why I didn't go in for Toyota vehicle because
You mean the Prius? The
Toyota in
Prius.
Ghana, I mean Toyota in Africa. No, they had the how do you call it? They had a Camry.
Oh, okay. That's a hybrid.
Yeah, they had the Camry running on a hybrid engine,
Okay.
but the reviews were terrible. And at that time, Hyundai had this Sonata, which had very, very good reviews, surprisingly. I mean, a sedan that was somewhat comfortable and luxurious at the same time robust. So that informed my decision to go for the Hyundai. After at least, I think, 6 months of back and forth
Okay.
thinking and decided.
So you whether still on a Hyundai. Hyundai what?
Sonata.
Hyundai Sonata. Okay. So
Yeah.
the decision is made. Now, how do you go about executing it? Because I suspect at the time you didn't buy locally in Ghana.
No, I
So
didn't.
how do you go about what's the next step?
Yeah, so I got on the Hyundai website in the US, and I think the price at that time was still overly expensive. So I had to look for something that was going on auction. And
You mean
God
a
being so
accident
good, I
car or
found
something?
something extremely. No, this one was as intended. It was clean.
What?
So it was a user who wanted to get a new vehicle and was selling it off.
Oh, okay.
Yes, good. So I had my brother in the US contact him and then have him get me the cost to purchase and then shipping. And it was a good deal. So I mean, I went for it.
Oh, you don't want to tell us the amounts involved. Because we believe we can get
Um,
people an idea. But it was like 6 years ago.
yeah, 6 years ago. I think that was close to 60,000,
CDs or dollars.
including CDs,
So in today's
including duty shipping.
really, so in today's within today's exchange, that's like $10,000 roughly.
Yeah, yeah,
Everything
roughly.
is $10,000. Okay. So do you think that it would have been a more frustrating process if you didn't have your brother or anybody staying in America in terms of buying?
Oh, no, I don't think it would be an issue because these days, I mean, auction websites are easily accessible by anybody anywhere else around the world. So long as you have internet, you're good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now the car arrived. Before you had the car, what were your
Mhm.
expectations? What were your expectations?
Well, I honestly, I figured it was going to be too luxurious to own in Ghana and was going to give me a lot of problems because I mean, majority of our roads are terrible, and so I figured. was going to be a big money spending venture for me. But it turned out to be something else. I mean, far from that, because it's been good.
I'm trying to interrogate your thought process because clearly you are an early adopter. Okay, uh, very
Yeah.
very clearly. Because if you thought that you are going to have a lot of maintenance bills, but you still push
Mhm.
ahead anyway, clearly you are determined to have the car. That's what that
Oh,
tells me.
yeah, most definitely.
Okay, which means
Most
that
definitely.
there was also an element of emotionalism in the decision.
Yeah. I mean, 5 years, 6 years ago, 60,000, not something to use to come by.
That's what you call in
So
Ghana briefing money. The money is briefing. Uh, yes. So
you get it. Yeah. So
okay,
I
okay,
mean,
okay.
it's been good. And the good thing about hybrid vehicles is that they are designed somewhat differently from the standardized way of that particular model. So, for instance, the Hyundai Sonata has a limited trim and then a base trim. So I have the Hyundai Sonata hybrid and it's also limited, which means that it will look so different from the original Sonata. I mean, when the car moves past you and compare that to maybe the normal Sonata, you realize the design, exterior design in itself looks very beautiful. That's the thing about hybrid vehicles.
But so let me ask another question.
EV
Is,
vehicles,
is it
the way it's
uh,
modeled gives you some form of taste. Mhm.
okay? For those watching, it's one of those days that there's a lag between us. So I'm sure that it will come across sometimes as if we are talking over each other. It's just the delay. Okay. Was there an element of I want to be one of the first to have an electrified vehicle? And I also want to be unique. Was that part of the decision making process? Okay. I mean, we want genuine feedback.
Okay, yeah. So when I looked into hybrid vehicles at the time and I saw the Hyundai, I knew there was nothing like this around because I mean I'm so much into vehicles, and so knowing that I haven't seen any of this on the market, I mean I figured, well, I might be the first. And I think it took like 2 3 years down the lane for other people to get it on the market now.
Okay. So that was clearly part of the decision making process. In fact, one other thing, at the ports, they do struggle with classifying this vehicle for duty purposes. Was that part of your experience, or you just classify it
Yeah.
as a standard Sonata?
So the thing is, they didn't really they couldn't really tell the difference between that and a normal limited edition Sonata. So it was just priced as a limited edition Sonata.
Oh, okay.
They didn't know.
Then you have escaped.
They didn't know.
You have escaped. It seems that
They didn't
currently,
know. They didn't know.
when they hear electric, they automatically price it as a luxury item. So, anyway, okay, so
No, but you see, that is wrong because I mean, for a vehicle that is supposed to protect the environment, I don't see why you have to charge so much duty on that.
it's one of the
You
problems
get my
that
point?
we have with the policy environment in Ghana currently, where our policy environment assumes that the more polluting your vehicle, I think the more it consumes fuel, the higher the taxes you pay. Okay. So if you have a 1 liter, you don't pay the same
Yep.
as a 2 liter, 3 liter, on and on and on and on. And
Yeah.
also, they also assume that
Mhm.
newer cars have more efficient engines. So the older your car, the more likely at a certain point you are to be surcharged. All right. Now, when it comes to
Yep.
EVs, that don't have any tail emissions at all, no pollution. They are being charged at 20%, the highest rate for duties for normal cars. So there is a dichotomy. I don't know, but let's shelve that for now. We don't want to go too deep into it. Let's focus on the. Okay, so you had the
Okay.
car. Now, what was it like before? Were you driving before you had this car? This was your first car.
Yeah. No, that's my second.
Your first car was what?
It was a Kia Rio.
A Kia Rio. Okay. So what was the
Yep.
experience like if you had to compare the Kia Rio and then this hybrid Sonata
So
in terms of
comparing the Kia Rio to my hybrid, the Kia Rio was as loud as a generator. This one was smooth and very quiet.
okay.
That was a really exciting thing about it. I mean, you're driving past the road, people look at you and you're like, is that car actually moving without an engine? Because you can hardly hear anything. The only thing you hear is a safety sound the electric engine makes, like a hissing sound to make you sort of know that a vehicle is coming. Outside that, nothing.
But I mean, okay, let's go get into your day. That is one aspect. You're talking about the silence. What about in terms of drivability?
Mm,
Drivability
okay.
and performance.
So let me show you how it works. So say in the morning I wake up and I start the engine. You know there are chargeable batteries in
Yes,
the car which are charged by the
the
motion
engine.
of the tires
Mhm,
and then the engine itself.
mhm.
Good. On a regular day when I start the vehicle in the morning, I'm running on energy saved from the previous day. So at a point where the battery is running low, the mechanical engine starts up to recharge the battery. At some point, it moves from the mechanical engine to the rotation of the tires. That also charges the battery. So if I'm going at a very top speed, both the electric engine and then the mechanical engine work together to give me a higher performance.
Mhm.
So if I'm driving my normal speed, my acceleration will be quicker than a regular engine. Because you realize with electric engines, you don't need so much time for acceleration to pick up.
Okay.
You get the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But uh, the question that curious minds will be interested in is what percentage of your everyday driving? Because most days you wake up from work, from the house to work, and sometimes
Mhm.
you do some rounds because of work, then you come home. Yeah, also.
Yeah.
So on an average day,
Mhm.
they commit like that. What percentage of the time will you say you are driving on the electric drivetrain, and what percentage will you say you are driving on the internal combustion engine?
Percentage. I would say 30% on EV and then 70% on the traditional engine. It will all depend on my mode of driving. You get it? Because if I am speeding up,
Yeah. The
but
higher your
so in a
acceleration,
case like that, I'll be
the higher
using
your
more
consumption.
of yes. So if I decide to do our normal inside residential area speed, like maybe between 30 kilometers per hour or 30 and 40, I'll be riding on the EV.
Mhm.
But if I decide to do something above that, the mechanical engine would kick in, join hands with the hybrid engine, and then that'll give me the hybrid. With the electric engine, that'll give me the hybrid. So if I decide to do less speed and do a more gentle drive, I'll be running on EV. So I'll say 30-70, depending on the driving habits.
So 30 for the EV drivetrain, 70 for the petrol. All right. So you have had
Yeah.
this car for 6 years now. How
Yeah.
many times do you have to take it to the mechanic for repairs? Do you think that is more or less compared to the normal car?
So like I told you, I used to drive a traditional internal combustion engine in the past. And I can tell you for a fact that I used to visit the mechanics more often than I use the hybrid vehicle.
Okay.
Apart from oil change, there's nothing specific I'd usually do.
So would you say that your fear that maybe our roads was irrelevant? Like maybe you cannot drive a hybrid or an electric car on our roads. Do you think it's a justified fear now?
Okay. So somewhere last year, I had an issue with a component in the vehicle, which is the ABS pump. The ABS pump works with the brakes. And this hybrid engine has two ABS pumps. One of them was faulty, and so it affected the performance on the brakes.
Hold on. I think
And
hold on. At this point in
it was
the,
it
in
was
the
a tough
discussion,
time getting it here on our market because
yeah. No, I just wanted to put in for those watching here. I'm about to insert a clip of last year. I think around November or so, where we were invited to Joy FM their program, or was it Gig Squad? And I remember you called
Big
in.
Squad, yeah, I remember
You
that.
called in
Yeah.
to talk to say this.
Hello?
Hi, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
May I know who's speaking?
I use a hybrid, eh?
Sorry?
And I think I use a hybrid.
Right.
Yeah, and I think so far it's one of the best things that's ever happened to me.
Great.
Yes. I'm sure God is aware. God, this is Alphaeus.
Good to hear your voice, man.
Yeah. And I mean, we've been speaking about this, and I feel like it is time. But you see, the disadvantage about the hybrid now is our mechanics do not learn. It's difficult getting somebody to work on a hybrid, especially when the fault is extreme.
We have
That's
a funny story
the
about that.
disadvantage, yes. But aside that, I mean, it's one of the best things on the market.
Great.
Okay. So yes, that was Alphaeus complaining and saying that his mechanic was telling him that his car has a problem from source from birth. Was that what you are coming to tell us?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, so please continue your story.
so I had an issue with my ABS pump, like I was telling you. So it affected the performance of the brakes. And you know, like I was telling you, the acceleration of a hybrid engine is quick. And so if your brakes are not so good, you realize you're in trouble. I took this vehicle to someone who was recommended by a friend to have been working on exotic vehicles, and he did a lot of diagnosis on the vehicle, and he wasn't getting anything. To be honest with you, I was able to discover the problem myself. Because I did a lot of YouTube video considering other people who use the same vehicle and the kind of problems they were facing. I think the mechanics in Ghana are still not up to speed with the way these hybrid and electric vehicles work. Because I think I visited 3 mechanics and they all did a lot of trials, not knowing exactly what the problem was.
The
We bought
experiment.
parts that were not needed. Yes. We bought parts that were not really needed. And I mean, they all cost me a lot before I decided to say, hey, let me just sit down and look into this problem. Because I'm positive there are people out there who use the same vehicle and might have experienced the same challenge I'm facing now. So that's how come I got to know what the problem was.
Okay. I'll give you somebody who knows what he's about when it comes to EVs.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'll give you somebody who's competent. He's already a
Okay.
member of African EV. There are a lot of people about us. Only that you don't know. Okay. Maybe we should just put it out there that anybody who needs that you can just post on the platform. I need a mechanic for so and so EV or hybrid or whatever.
Interesting.
Yes. So I'll just have
Yeah.
your contact after the session. Okay. So apart from
And,
that
and you
ABS,
know, after discovering what the problem was, after discovering what the problem was, the second thing was finding it difficult to get the desired parts. I mean, there were a
okay,
lot of parts here in Ghana, but they were parts for the regular
okay,
trim. They didn't have that for the hybrid engine because that was a little different from the regular. And so I ended up ordering it from the US.
okay. And was that more expensive than?
Yeah, that was a downside.
Do you think that was more expensive than?
Well, it was cheap. It was cheaper ordering from the US
But
because
it took a
somebody
longer
opted
time.
to get one for me. Well, yeah, because of Corona.
Okay. But please complete your thought. Somebody ordered
Somebody
that.
somebody got one from Nigeria.
Okay.
Somebody ordered one from Nigeria, but the device was worn out. The component was worn out. So I mean, after 2 weeks, the issue came up again.
Okay.
That is when I decided to order it from the US. Yeah.
Okay. So in your past 6 years of EV ownership, your major problem that you had was with that ABS system. And it's a known issue with the
Yeah. And apparently
Sonata.
it's a known problem. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now, if you are to buy, have you experienced a test drive of an EV, a pure EV? Have you?
Not yet.
Okay. So that's going to be the next thing. I will arrange
Are you
one
there?
for you. Yeah, I will arrange a test drive for you. Okay.
Are you serious?
Yes. In fact, I should have done that a while back. I'll arrange one for you for an EV that is an adaptation of a normal car. Hello. I will arrange one that's an adaptation for a normal car.
Okay.
Then, so let's say they have a design like maybe a Sonata car. They decided to convert it. The factory decided
Mm-hmm.
to convert the car to an EV. So there are compromises. All right, you will see the superiority of that
Mm-hmm.
compared to an EV, sorry, to your hybrid. Then we'll do a pure EV as a Nissan Leaf.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that you can see
Okay.
the graduation. Okay, between a hybrid, how much better
Oh wow.
an EV is compared to a hybrid.
Then
Okay,
exactly.
then how much better an EV that has been built from the ground up as an EV,
Mm-hmm.
designed from the ground up as an EV, is compared to the rest. So it's like they're even graduating. All right, we'll do videos on that.
I know. That'll be a good one.
We'll do
That'll
videos
be a
on
good
that.
one.
Yeah.
That'll be a good one. Yeah.
Let me ask you one other question before I ask you some deeper ones. What will be your next car if you have a say in it? What are you thinking of buying next? Are you thinking of buying petrol? You want to go
It's a
hybrid or you
Tesla.
want to go EV? We're thinking of buying a Tesla.
No. Yeah.
Are you serious? I can arrange that one for you.
No, wait, let me ask you.
Uh,
If you've ever had the option of owning a hybrid and knowing how much you save on fuel, which is very expensive in Ghana now, you think you'd want to go back?
Please, I am not the one who is the guest. I am the host. I think that my biases are well known, so I
Of
cannot.
course, so if I want to get a new car, I would obviously have to be full electric.
Okay.
Because I mean, I've experienced just a bit of it, and I feel there is more I need to see. You get it? Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So let me ask you a question.
Mhm.
The question really escaped me. You know, how much do you save? Relatively speaking, like how much do you think you have spent if you're using a hybrid compared to how much you spend, say on a weekly basis? Can you
So
give us some figures?
let me work with figures here.
Yes, give us those
So
figures.
now, if I want to fill my tank, so the thing is, it's a 2.4 liter hybrid engine. If I want to fill my tank, it will cost me.
Sorry, before the break,
Okay,
you were giving us some
that's all
figures.
right.
You said that it's a 2.4
Yeah,
liter engine,
good.
petrol, right?
Yes, hybrid engine. Yes, petrol. Yeah,
Okay, and then to fill to fill the tank of that car,
will be between 380 to 400.
Ghana cedis.
Yeah,
Okay,
good. I live at Oyarifa.
or yeah, you're far.
Mm. And my office is at Adabaka. Are you familiar with that route between Oyarifa,
Well,
say to Madina?
we can Google it. We can Google it. And I think for those of you watching, we'll put the distance on the screen. So maybe you are staying at it right now from Oyarifa, where he stays,
Yeah,
to Adabraka. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Mind you, there's a lot of traffic on my route.
Okay. So normally you spend how many hours
There's a lot of.
from? How long do you spend from the house to the office in the mornings?
If I decide, if considering the time I leave, it's between 30 to 45 minutes because I leave very early. If I decide to leave late, that'll be more than 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay. But most times you
If I
leave
decide to
early.
do that, I can. Yeah, I leave earlier
So
to
most
avoid
times
the
you
traffic and
spend,
all that.
let's say, maximum 45 minutes. Most times. Most times.
Maximum 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what about the evenings?
I can do evenings 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay. So in a
Mind
day,
you, I am running on AC during the whole time.
okay. So AC on, your
Yes.
radio or your music, whatever, is also on, I'm sure.
Everything is on. Yes.
Okay. So
Full power usage. Yes.
so in other words, for this,
Good.
it means that
I can
averagely you spend
do.
averagely you spend is that 2 hour 15 minutes. Let's call it 2 hour 30 minutes. If you want to be generous. Driving. Excluding the other
Yeah.
rounds that you may have to do in town
Yeah.
because of work.
2 or 30 minutes every day driving.
Okay. All right.
I hardly move around. I hardly move around when I get to the office. So
Okay.
I can do this for 2 weeks before my fuel drops to a half bar.
Drops what?
2 weeks before my fuel moves to a half bar.
Oh, okay. That means that so in 2 weeks' time, you have spent roughly, let's call it 200 Ghana cedis because the full tank is 400 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
So a week you spend 100 Ghana cedis on fuel, and that week includes 5 working days and weekends. including church. So I was saying that means what you are saying, you spend 200 Ghana cedis on fuel every 2 weeks. So practically speaking, you can use that 400
Yeah.
Ghana cedis of fuel for the entire 4 months. Sorry, 1 month.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that, so which translates to 100 Ghana cedis of fuel every week. And that week includes
Yeah.
5 days of going and coming back from work. Saturdays, your runs,
Running on
and then
AC.
Sundays. Because Sunday, the church is
Yeah.
far, but we go to the same church. The church is very far from.
Yeah.
Our church is very far from where you stay.
From home. Yeah.
But it's better than going to
Yeah.
your office from the house. So you come,
Yeah, it is.
then do a lot of church movements before you go home.
Mhm.
That sounds like a
Yeah.
good deal. But without the
It does.
when you're using your previous car, you were spending more.
So let
Well,
me give you a quick statistics here.
okay.
I have a Camry.
You have a Camry also.
Same year. Yeah, same year, but this is an internal combustion engine.
Okay.
Yes. If I decide to use that Camry to work, and I feel it will cost me 280 cedis, almost 300 cedis to fill the tank.
That means it has a
I
smaller tank
won't be able
than the
to.
existing.
Yes, it does. It does. It won't. I can't get to the end of the week before I have to buy fuel to top up.
Well, you top up asking, are you trying to say that you will cross the halfway mark or more than that, or then before we get finished completely?
Say that again.
Are you trying to say that the fuel will get finished in a week, the 300 Ghana cedis of fuel?
It will get finished in a week. That's a 2.5 liter engine.
Oh, basically the same as the hybrid.
Yes. No, this is not a hybrid. This is
Yeah, no, but
a normal internal combustion engine.
it has the same engine capacity as the hybrid. Because the hybrid
No,
is 2.5 liters,
it
right?
has the hybrid is 2.4 and this is 2.5.
Okay, so 0.1 difference.
Yes.
Also
Yeah.
petrol.
Also petrol.
Okay, so guys, what Alphaeus is giving us, let me rephrase again for those of you. This is phenomenal. He's saying that for the hybrid, he buys fuel of 400 Ghana cedis. Okay? And that 400 Ghana cedis, he practically uses it for the entire month. The hybrid is a 2.4 liter petrol engine. We are not talking about the electric part as a petrol engine. All right.
Yeah.
Now, and that petrol engine is what is powering even the electric motor. Well, that's what is used to charge the batteries for the electric
Charge the
motor,
batteries, yeah.
for the electric motors to use. Now, he has a Toyota Camry, also same year. That one is 2.5 liters. So the difference in engine capacity is 0.1.
Yep.
The Toyota Camry, its fuel tank can take 300 Ghana cedis worth of petrol. And this gentleman works with Goil Ghana. Okay? Goil Ghana, the premier oil marketing company in Ghana. You can Google it for yourself if you think we are lying.
That's right. That's right.
And so he knows how to calculate fuel prices. Okay? And he's saying that when he buys that 300 Ghana cedis of petrol, in a week, it gets finished. So if you were to drive his Camry for a month, 4 weeks, that means that you have to spend 1,200 Ghana cedis.
Yep.
Okay. And for the hybrid, he's spending 400 Ghana cedis. That means that driving the hybrid is 3 times cheaper. Okay? Do you understand?
Oh, wait.
3 times
Yeah.
cheaper. So practically speaking, by driving the hybrid, he is saving. Is that 800 Ghana cedis?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. That's a lot of
That's like $150.
So you understand what I mean by not going back to an internal combustion engine?
Okay, now you set the stage. Let us come to you. You are working for to go Ghana. What do you think is the future of petrol? If you who's west, because your livelihood depends over there. If this is your mind,
What? I didn't get the question. Please come
I
again.
would say that you work for Go Ghana. Okay. If this is your mind today, as somebody who works
Yeah.
for Go Ghana, what do you think is going to happen to your business? The
Oh well,
oil business.
we have plans.
So I'm sorry, you went off. You went off. You said that.
Are you
When,
are you
when,
listening to me now?
yeah,
Can you
when you
hear
said,
me?
yeah, when you said answering the question, then you went off. So can you repeat your answer, please?
Good. I'm saying that as an oil marketing company, we understand that there's going to be a time where majority of the vehicles part of our customers use would be fully electric. So we're actually having plans. We're actually doing a lot of research when it comes to knowing how to sort that kind of service out when it comes to that particular area of customers who use electric vehicles. I hope you understand what I mean.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. But you see,
Good.
the problem is and will be how fast. Because the
Well,
change is going to be dramatically faster than everybody is expecting. I mean, when I talk to people, the change is going to be dramatically faster. And you see,
yeah.
between last year, so pre-COVID, so let's say 24, 15, 16, 17, 18,
18
2019,
and
still there was
20.
that, but 2020, people started waking up now. And 2021, this year that we are in, a lot of people are now beginning to see that it's viable. But I
Mhm.
still see that a lot of people, their time horizon for when the change will occur is still far out there. Okay. And
Yeah.
that's going to because to separate the men from the boys. Who is able to react faster? It's about the speed of reaction. It's not about and you can see a good example is VW. You see the way their CEO is dragging them screaming into the 21st century. You get what I'm saying? And he's made the abundantly clear that listen, this thing we don't have any more time to waste. That thank you very much for giving us your perspective on your hybrid ownership experience. Uh,
Yeah.
your perspective is unique because of also where you work. So those who are in the oil field, what I realize that there are a lot of people they have never had any experience with or contact with EVs, and because they feel that it's an
Mm.
attack on their source of income, they are screaming and doing everything they can to say that it's not relevant. But the sooner you acknowledge reality, the better you can begin to plan and to prepare for that reality. If you're living in denial,
Yeah.
you are setting yourself up for failure big time. So thank you very much. Do you
Yeah.
have any last words for our audience who are watching you?
Well, I can only say that I mean it's been one of the best experience about right. You know, I didn't tell you. So there was a time I traveled to Kumasi, right? I filled my tank. I got to Kumasi and I did a top up, and I top up 127 cedis. The fuel pump attendant was like, "Mata, in chi, na ufrihi," and I'm saying, "Oh, me fi crowd, hey." And I'll top here 127 cedis. And I'm saying, "Aye." And it felt good. I mean, there was another time I was coming back from Elmina. Is it Elmina? Yes, Elmina. I got to Accra and I topped up with 67 cities.
From Elmina.
Oh, yes. And I was doing my top speeds. I was doing my top speed. I mean, I'm a fast driver, so
I was going to
I
say
mean,
that.
I was doing my top speed. I was doing my top speed.
You enjoy driving.
Oh yes, I enjoy driving. I really enjoy driving. So I'm looking forward to you surprising me with an electric vehicle test drive. I'll be very grateful, and I can't wait. It's
I
been an
will-
amazing experience. Trust me,
Okay.
it's been an amazing experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So the session is ending.